Dirty classrooms, a head business tutor with no business qualifications and piles of unmarked assignments. That's the catalogue of failures laid bare in an official report into the Auckland's Aotearoa Tertiary Institute, which has been shut down by the Qualifications Authority. About 200 foreign students, most of them Indian, have been hit by the institute's closure. Our education correspondent John Gerritsen has been reading the NZQA's report. Hi John, welcome to the program live from our Wellington studio. This is, well, pretty damning, is it?
Yeah, look, absolutely. This report just paints the picture of a total shambles, really. It comes from a visit NZQA staff made by surprise. They didn't warn the Aotearoa Tertiary Institute they were coming in November, and the report that comes out of it just shows that everything from the cleaning through to the management was done badly. The classrooms were so small they couldn't fit all the students. Only about half of those who were enrolled in each class could really fit in. There were errors on the school's website. There wasn't a register for student complaints. They didn't monitor students' attendance. It just goes on and on.
Yeah, and let's talk about the bigger picture a bit later in this chat. But was any actual education of any value taking place here?
Well, you'd have to wonder about that, and the evidence in this report suggests that it would not have been of very high quality if it was taking place. The leader of the business program didn't actually have any business qualifications in his CV. There were two other business tutors, and they were supposed to have qualifications at least one level higher than what they were teaching, and it didn't appear that they did. The school wasn't checking either that these tutors' markings what was accurate and correct. They weren't conducting moderation, and most assessments for the past 2 years have been left in a pile. Some were in a tutor's office, some were stored off-site, and it wasn't clear that they'd been marked. And in fact, staff said that marking didn't happen until students graduated, which is very unusual.
That's a polite way of putting it, John. Very unusual indeed. Who was behind this seemingly, I'm going to not editorialise, I think we can all draw our own conclusions. Who was behind this outfit?
Okay, it had been run by a company called South Canterbury English Language Limited, which was owned by Yanji Zhao, but in September last year it was bought by Silver Ray Group. Now that's a Chinese company with two directors, one of whom, Hao Long, has an address in Auckland. But here's the thing, that transfer of ownership to Silver Ray Group was supposed to be approved by NZQA, and it wasn't. So that's another failure to stick to the rules.
Yeah. What happens to the students in this place?
Okay. There's about 200, most of them are Indian students. There's also some Fijian and Chinese students. They can go on now to the Manukau Institute of Technology to complete their studies, or if they really want to, they could go elsewhere. But one of the problems is that because of the Aotearoa Tertiary Institute's bad record keeping, Manukau Institute of Technology is actually going to have to assess some of those students just to check some of the standards they supposedly have completed because they weren't actually registered with NZQA.
Goodness gracious me, John. Let's go back to return to the bigger picture here, and that is we keep hearing these stories. I mean, this just sounds abysmal. It actually sounds cynical, and we keep hearing about Indian students being chucked out of the country and all of this kind of stuff happening. At what stage is this going to bite the broader business on the bum and people simply going to stop coming to New Zealand for education?
Yeah, people in the sector certainly have been worried about that for a while now. We've had a deregistration of IANs last year. You know, that was a big institution that was shut down, and many of the students had to be retested. We've also had students being threatened with deportation because of problems with their visas. But I think one of the things that's important to remember here, and I keep being told this by people, is that not all of the students are completely innocent here. Some of them are very keen to come for work permits and to live, and so they're enrolling in institutions they know won't deliver a great education, and so some of them are complicit. Others, of course, are caught up and, through no fault of their own, enrolling in these institutions. So it is a situation that needs to be sorted out.
Our education correspondent John Gerritsen, thanks so much, John. We appreciate it.